Hey, good afternoon, folks. Aaron Dorr here with Wyoming gun owners with an update for everybody on the Second Amendment Preservation Act. Get a lot of questions on this. Guys, we simply haven't had the time to do an email on this in the last 36 hours. But in light of the news reports, get a lot of questions from you guys. So what we have tonight is the definitive answer on what happened in the state Senate on SEPA legislation. I'm going to pause here for a minute. You guys get signed in. Someone give me an audio check. Make sure you can hear me okay. Give me a thumbs up, or someone can comment in the comment section. And we're hosting a watch party to get this video seen by more gun owners. I need about 30 seconds, and we're going to begin tonight's live video update on SEPA legislation. I'm getting some thumbs up in the comment section, so I'm going to assume you guys can hear the audio okay. So, yeah, the numbers are still climbing. I'm going to wait about 15 more seconds, guys, and we're going to kick this off. It is a disgusting update. It has been a shameful treatment of our gun rights by the most pro-gun legislature in America. You guys are not going to freaking believe this. Okay, here's what's going on. The media across the state is reporting that the Second Amendment Preservation Act passed the Senate, right? Yesterday. Time is moving fast. Here's what actually happened. The Senate moderates, led by Senator Hicks, filed an amendment on the Second Amendment Preservation Act. We've been warning you guys about this for a long time. This was the ambush that we frankly expected to have happen all along. And so Senator Hicks, on the third reading of the bill, the last vote before it leaves the chamber and goes to the House, Senator Hicks, on behalf of a whole bunch of moderates, hyper moderates in the state Senate, files an amendment that did the following things. Now, just as a brief recap, what our bill does is says that federal gun laws are null and void here in Wyoming, and any agency who has their officers enforce federal gun control laws can be fined in civil court by you, the individual gun owner. You can sue them in civil court, drag their ass into court, and they can be fined up to $50,000 per occurrence when they attack your freedom. That's what the bill would do. Now, here's what Senator Hicks and all the rest of the moderates did. They ran an amendment that says that any federal gun control laws that are passed in D.C. have to be reviewed by the Attorney General, Bridget Hill. That already killed the bill. Bridget Hill is a putz. Look at her. Bridget Hill is the Attorney General who is coming after Wyoming gun owners, trying to force us to surrender our donor lists to the state, which is never going to happen, by the way. Bridget Hill is the Attorney General who's attacking the loudest voice for Second Amendment freedom in the state. The Attorney General's office, long before Bridget Hill was even alive, probably, has been attacking gun owners for years. 1986, the AG's office argued successfully, mind you, in front of the Wyoming Supreme Court that citizens do not have an inherent right to keep and bear arms. The Attorney General's office litigated that, advocated that position clear back in the 80s, when Bridget Hill probably wasn't even born. So the AG's office in Wyoming has been an enemy to gun owners for decades. Bridget Hill, in particular, is the one attacking WYGO as a favor to the moderates whose political skulls were crushed by the members of Wyoming gun owners in the primaries last year. So she is as moderate lefty as they come. But according to the Senate Republicans, she's going to evaluate all of future gun control bills or gun bills that pass in Congress. And if she thinks they're fine, that's the end of it. If she thinks that there's a problem there, then it gets kicked up to Governor Gordon. Governor Gordon. Now then, our illustrious governor, who is referred to as His Excellency in the way that the legislature refers to him in their official documents, His Excellency, Governor Gordon, then gets to review the new law rather, out of D.C., and this is if, he agrees that it's problematic or unconstitutional or illegal as hell, then he may issue an executive order instructing Wyoming peace officers to refuse to enforce that particular law. This bill has been killed. It has been utterly destroyed. Bridget Hill will never intervene for your gun rights, and Governor Gordon will never intervene for your gun rights. This bill was killed not by any of the Democrats in the Senate. There's only two of them now, for heaven's sakes. This was killed by the Republicans. Killed by the Republicans. Now, here's a name I need you to drill into the back of your mind. Here is a name you have to drill into the back of your mind. His name, the name, is Byron Odakofen. Byron Odakofen. I'll let you guys say it with me. Byron Odakofen. He is the sheriff's lobbyist in Cheyenne. Now, Byron Odakofen is anti-gun to the core. Byron Odakofen is the one who lobbied against this bill in conjunction with Moms Demand Action, Everytown for Gun Safety, all these gun grabbing organizations. And for a lot of you, you might not even know that this exists. You might think that, for God's sakes, it's Wyoming. That doesn't matter. This guy is a billionaire, not Byron Odakofen, Michael Bloomberg, and they got people everywhere. And they were attacking this bill up one side and down the next in committee alongside of Byron Odakofen. This is the Sheriff's Association lobbyist. So the Sheriff's Association lobbyist is the one that every freaking moderate senator in Cheyenne hid behind, held up his business card in front of them and hid behind and said, "Oh, we can't support this. The sheriff's lobbyist is against the bill." So I want you to understand, your sheriff signed on to a letter that was written by Byron Odakofen, who is anti-gun to the bone. Byron Odakofen damn near killed Stand Your Ground law, the bill that we all passed in 2018. He tried his damnedest. He failed, but Byron Odakofen is anti-gun to the core, yet your sheriff allowed Byron Odakofen to represent him, and then you by extension, in the Capitol, and signed on to this ridiculous, half-true, totally lying, spun up letter to the legislature saying that they were opposed to the Second Amendment Preservation Act. Now, we have received dozens of calls and emails from Wyoming troopers, Wyoming deputies, Wyoming city officers, city police officers, who said, for God's sakes, pass the Second Amendment Preservation Act. If you pass it, I can't be compelled or ordered to violate the Second Amendment. Please, God, pass SEPA legislation. But Byron Odakofen and your sheriff said, no, we're going to sit here and fight against this bill. And so how Byron Odakofen has spun this is that if you support SEPA legislation, you are anti-cop. You see, Byron Odakofen is a two-bit lying snake who is doing everything he can to destroy your gun rights. And here's the deal. It's a partially government-funded entity that he works for. In fact, and this part I have not got confirmed, so I'll leave that wiggle room there, but it is my understanding that the organization he represents, that the sheriff's department pays, and every county does this, that the sheriff's department, they pay a fee, a membership fee to Byron Odekofen's little organization to represent them in Cheyenne. That money doesn't come from your sheriff's 401k or his piggy bank. That money comes from your tax dollars. Gun owners fund this stuff. So they're taking our tax dollars, funding a gun control lobbyist, and a spindly little embarrassing man to boot, Byron Odekofen, in the legislature. So gun owners are funding the gun control lobby. Your sheriff, frankly, should be ashamed. We love cops. For God's sakes, we are the law and order organization. We want to protect our gun rights so we can stop criminals from attacking our families. We want to protect our gun rights so that armed citizens can defend honest cops when they're under attack. These stories happen every year across the country. But what we have here is not the honest cops. What we have here is the political entity that professes to represent the honest cops who are attacking your freedom. And frankly, your sheriff should be ashamed that he signed on to that letter. That's an embarrassment. He should care, your sheriff should care more about your freedom than his power. He should care more about your God-given, constitutionally guaranteed right to keep and bear arms than what some anti-gun lobbyist in Cheyenne tells him he should believe. And your sheriff should hear from you. If your county is appropriating money to the Sheriff's Association, to their lobbyist, Byron Odekofen, that money should be stripped. You should insist that your county officials stop appropriating that money to fund this anti-gun organization that exists right here in our state. Don't forget the name Byron Odekofen. But now, don't forget this either. Let's just talk about why this was done. Why it was done. The senators who voted for this garbage, voted for the amendment, and then voted for the bill after it was amended, are doing so for one reason. They know to an absolute certainty that any opportunity Wyoming gun owners has to expose them in the primaries next year, we will engage in. And they're just desperate to find a gun bill that they can vote on. So now, when we go out there in those districts with mail and radio ads and texting updates and TV ads, etc., and we say, your senator is a piece of shit. He voted to take away and weaken the protections for your gun rights. Now, those same senators are going to hold up this shell, this fragment of what was Senate File 81, and they're going to say, "Oh no, I voted for that. I voted for that." You see, they're trying to play all of you, all of us, for fools. They think that you're going to believe them blindly and let them get away with it. They think that we're chumps. They think that you're idiots. You're not going to find out. You're not going to hear the truth. They're not going to really care. Folks, that is what Wyoming gun owners is all about. We expose the dirty laundry, the backroom deals, the disgusting lobbyists, and everybody else who was involved in these schemes to attack your gun rights. That's what we do. We do it better than anybody else. And so if you're not involved in Wyoming gun owners, you're You're like a soldier who, you go on the field, but you've got no ammo because your supply sergeant didn't give you any. If you're watching these videos, if you're getting our emails, I'm just asking you, join up with WIGO, because we are the only voice fighting for your gun rights. We're the only voice working in Cheyenne to expose these backroom deals. We're the only voice at election time that you can trust to an absolute certainty that we will tell you who is a friend to gun owners, who has screwed gun owners, and we'll give you the bill numbers, the dates, the times, the amendment numbers, all the gory details that these spineless little cowards are desperately hoping that you'll never hear about. So I'm just going to tell you, if this pisses you off, like it obviously has pissed me off, join us. Get involved in this fight. Take a stand today. Join Wygo.com and get involved in this fight. It shouldn't be this hard, right? It shouldn't be this hard to pass gun bills in Cheyenne. But the simple fact of the matter is that we don't have a pro-gun legislature. We have a handful of incredible pro-gun legislators. We have the ferocious Anthony Bouchard, who is the leader of this bill. We have Tim Salazar, who's a boss, always fights for gun rights. He didn't vote for this crap. We have people like Bob Wharf over in the House. You got Dan Larson's. You have some champions, some heroes, some people who will never betray. But for the most part, folks, we do not have a pro-gun legislature. We have a bunch of spindly cowards who vote pro-gun from time to time, and they passed stand your ground law, but they don't want to. They passed stand your ground law because we made them. All of us made them pass stand your ground law. That's how we passed stand your ground. It wasn't because we had a bunch of pro-gun legislators. We don't. We have a bunch of people who would be Democrats in any other state. Democrats in any other state. But because it's Wyoming, they got to pretend to be a Republican. So it's not enough to sit back and just say to yourself, you know what? There's like almost no Democrats in Cheyenne. My gun rights are safe. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're only safe right now because the other members of Wyoming gun owners are making it very clear to the legislature that if you screw with our gun rights, you're gone. You're gone. Ask Von Flatteren and Kirkbride and Pownell and all these moderates that you guys threw out of office in the primaries last year. That's why anything good happens in Cheyenne, and that's why the bad bills don't move anywhere in Cheyenne. The moment that our foot comes off their neck, that situation is going to reverse, and you will see more Republicans sponsoring gun control than what we've already had happen over the last couple of years in Cheyenne. We had Republicans last year, Dan Furphy, Senator Dan Furphy these days, who sponsored a bill to make you a criminal if you bought a handgun without waiting for 3 days first. I'm trying to read the comment here. Wayne wants something about his sheriff. Every sheriff in the state signed this letter, thanks to the work of Byron Odakofen. Half of them don't have a clue in hell what they even signed, but every sheriff opposed your gun rights. Every sheriff opposed the Second Amendment Preservation Act. That's the answer. So, going back to where I was, we have a handful of guys who are strong. We have most of them who suck. We have Republicans like Dan Furphy sponsoring waiting periods right here in freaking Wyoming. Want to make you a criminal if you don't wait 3 days to get government permission to buy a gun. Even though that kind of crap gets people, especially women, raped, killed, robbed, because it benefits only the criminals. That's the kind of crap that we have happening. And if we let our foot off the neck of these hyper moderates, we'll have that happening to us in spades. That will not happen as long as Wyoming gun owners has the resources we need to fight like hell for your freedom. So again, if you're a member of WIGO, thank you. If you're not a member of WIGO, you need to get involved in this fight. You need to get involved in this fight. You go to joinwygo.com to get signed up, joinwygo.com. Go to our regular website if you wish, wyominggunowners.org, and get signed up right there. But SEPA wasn't killed by the Democrats. SEPA was killed by the Republicans, by our friends in the Capitol. That bill, to be clear, just to be very clear, the bill actually is not dead. The bill passed. That's the thing. That crap has been sent over to the House, where I can assure you the moderates in the House are just chomping at the bit for a chance to vote for that garbage, and then they too can claim that they're pro-gun at election time. So we'll have more information for you guys on that, but that's where things are. It was a disgusting betrayal of your gun rights on the part of Senator Hicks, on the part of all the moderates in the Capitol who were in lockstep with him when he did that, on the part of Byron Odakofen, the pathetic lobbyist who still is pissed off that we passed stand your ground law over his objections 3 years ago. 3 years ago? Yeah, 3 years ago. And he now has convinced your sheriff to sign his little letter, which your state senators, many of them anyway, hid behind yesterday when they gutted and destroyed the Second Amendment Preservation Act. Guys, share the video far and wide. Get the word out. I hate to hang up on such a huge audience right now, but I have got to take off for this evening. Share the video. More to come. Guys, if you're not getting WIGO emails, you're missing out on a lot of these details. So get signed up on our website for emails as well, and we'll keep you informed that way. We'll keep you informed with Facebook Live. We use direct mail, which is uncensorable. That's why we like it. We'll keep you informed, guys. Get involved today. Share our video, and we'll be in touch.